What's up? What's up, African family? Macheloni, Malang Sanwanan, Afsheni, Minjani, Pukile. Hey. Ah. This is today I believe is the 14th of September. 12th September 1977. Stephen Bantu Biko, one of our best minds, was brutally taken out by our enemies. This is Biko Month. This is Biko Month. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but there is a special place in my heart for Steve Biko. And it's not just because of the ideas, but Steve Biko's work. I remember the first work of nonfiction I ever read was Steve Biko's I Write What I Like. So really, that is the foundation of my political consciousness. I had that as my foundation. That is how I got introduced to the world of politics and nonfiction literature. Now, when you are thinking about people like Steve Biko, so many thoughts are triggered. But recently, I've been thinking a lot about Chrisani and Steve Biko. These elders paid the ultimate price to liberate us. When I hear Black South Africans wanting to dismiss, the kind of political work that needs to be done for us to free ourselves, when you want to dismiss Black consciousness or Pan-Africanism, you don't understand that if you are an accountant today, you're only that because those two elders spilled their blood. So I don't like people who, want to try and downplay our struggle. I don't care if they're white or black. No one, not in my presence, no one is allowed to talk down on our struggle. It's not allowed. So don't get excited. One day you're all excited and then you think you can vomit here things about our icons, or our struggle. I don't care who you are. If you're a Black professional or entrepreneur or whatever, and you feel excited one day, just don't say anything weird, about Ubiko, about Krisani, about any of these people who actually gave their lives. I'm not talking about protest. I'm talking about gave their lives. So please, I honor these people. There are so many things that today I'm able to do because we know 94 didn't give us everything we wanted, but because of pressure from these people and the sacrifice they made, today at least I can open my mouth and say something. Today at least, if I'm not happy about something, I can say something. I also, in my reflections, because I know that Biko and Krisani were killed for resisting. Others negotiated, and that's why, personally, I find a lot of the politicians who survived that period questionable. A lot of them I find questionable. Questionable, to say the least. So, yeah. I mean, what makes you survive? When Obiko was bound and beaten, you know, I watched a little bit of Advocate Ncukai Toby's speech at the commemoration of Ubiko. He made some statements that I think were crucial. He said that his speech was titled A Blow to the Head. And he said, of course, this is a play on words from the autopsy. Steve Biko's autopsy revealed that, what really took him, what took his life was a blow to the head. But Uncukai Toby takes it further and say that the loss of Ubiko was a blow to the head for Africans in this country. And I would agree. I would agree. An absolute blow to the head for our people. And that blow to the head has us existing in nonsensical ways. Like there absolutely is no logic in South African society. We are probably in the top 3 countries in terms of mineral wealth in the world. Not in the world, not in Africa, in the world. But you must look at the levels of black poverty in this country. We are hailed as the most unequal society in the world. Top 3, possibly, mineral wealth. Nothing makes sense in this post 1994 world. Doesn't make sense. There is nothing that makes sense. Invading colonial settlers own and control almost everything. The indigenous people have very little. Defies everything. Defies logic. Roman Dutch law is the supreme law of the land. Then they have what is called customary law, which is subordinate to the supreme law of the land, Roman Dutch law. Ain't nothing making sense anywhere. Should we talk about the economy? Let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. So when I think about these elders, I'm like, I wonder wherever you are, whatever form you are in, as you are looking at this whole nonsense playing out, I wonder how you feel, So, yeah, man, a blow to the head. I have another sort of way of thinking about it. The 1994 moment, along with the accompanying propaganda that was fed to our people, that moment disarmed us. We are disarmed. It disarmed us. And at many levels, it disarmed us because then many of our people interpreted the moment to mean struggle is over. So the fight is over. And what happens when a fight is over? You lay down your weapons, right? But now here's the thing. So when we entered into this negotiation, whatever, said, yeah, okay, we agreed. And that's why Chrisani was disappointed. We agreed to be disarmed. Literally, like, put down your arms. Suspend armed struggle. Then we're like, oh, okay, yes, yeah, we'll put down our arms. And then that whole Rainbow Nation propaganda disarmed us. So now, politically, our people are absolutely confused. And that's why you've got a plethora of black political parties. Plethora. Disarmed. but they also took your arms away, literally. We are the most unarmed people in this country. We don't have any weapons. We don't. But you know who does? The people you negotiated a peace settlement with kept their weapons. You threw yours away. And then you unarmed yourself politically. And you started to just exist like some naive, I don't know what. You know? So, unarmed. And also, it speaks again, this issue of being, this concept of being unarmed, it again speaks to why South Africa has no nuclear weapons. We agreed to not have nuclear weapons. We said yes. It was all these concessions. Yeah, we will have no nuclear weapons. So what do the Americans say? Yeah, you guys, you mustn't have any weapons. Don't have any weapons, any nuclear weapons. We'll have nuclear weapons, and then we will supervise the world and make sure everything is all right. You can't, don't worry yourself about these complex geopolitical matters. We will sort it out. But you just stay in line. Be a good boy. Disarmed. Disarmed. Disarmed in spirit. Religion has confused you so much that it suppressed your natural instinct, human instinct to fight against threats. Disarmed. South Africans. Disarmed. My Africans. That's us. Disarmed. A blow to the head. Disarmed. Now, I know for some of you, what I'm saying, because it doesn't go and fit well in the rainbow nation narrative, you will dismiss it and say, oh, people who live in the past. I mean, we're in a new country now. Don't know. I mean, haven't you heard? Mandela is out. We voted. This is going to be the response. Africans in this country are not going to eat anything. And you're just going to watch everyone else enjoying themselves, having a good time from your resources, from you as a market, exploiting you as a market and enjoying themselves. And then feeding you propaganda to put you to sleep so you don't see anything and you don't raise any issues. Draki ke lishango ti angasile chitu. You ain't gonna eat anything. Oh, guys, when I laugh, sometimes I laugh when I'm feeling pain, when I talk about these things. Because, like, how else can you cope with this kind of thing, man? Huh? I mean, the next thing is we're going to have to be put in asylums here. Because you are just looking at just how crazy the society is. Like I said in my last video, we need to rethink this whole thing. We gotta rethink this whole thing. Just a parting shot. In my line of work, I come across many theories and frameworks. There's this concept, they call it the theory of change. The theory of change, use it typically when doing certain interventions for the community and so on. So your theory of change. So if you are saying, to solve the unemployment crisis in this community, we need to build a factory. That's a project, right? It's an intervention. But then the question is, what is your theory of change? So you might say, to solve the problem of youth unemployment, we are establishing this factory because it's going to employ uh, 500 out of 600 youth in this community. And we are going to then develop skills and, and so you use if and then statements. If we build this factory, we will be able to employ 600 young people. If we employ 600 young people, they are going to be economically fine. They may grow to establish themselves, become industrialists themselves, and employ more people. So you see, if and then, if and then. So I have a question for South Africans. What is your theory of change? Hmm? What is your theory of change? So, for example, for those who believe that the GNU is the best thing that ever happened, so, the marrying of the ANC and the DA. So, what was your reasoning there? Your theory of change? So, if the ANC gets married to the DA, then you see, if and then statements. What is your theory of change, my people? Whatever your view is, if and then statements. Let's talk, Africans. Tell me in the comments, what is your theory of change? As we are commemorating some of the greatest spirits that ever manifested in this country, in this region of the world, Steve Biko and Chris Hani. But this is Biko Month, so Black consciousness, man. I think either later today or tomorrow, Pusho and I need to do a Biko special. And I'm telling you, Africans, there's never been a time when Black consciousness is more crucial. At a time when global right-wing ideology is rising, and right-wing, you can see even in this country that sense of the right, white conservatism, white nationalism, it's coming out. We are seeing, well, let me correct that. I am seeing, I don't know if you see, I can't speak for you. I can see, and I can see the danger. I look at the western part of this country, starting from the Western Cape, and then you have Orania in the northwest. African people in this country. Can you look at the map? So there's that movement for Cape independence, right? So imagine you separate the Cape, and then it becomes like a state of Israel here in our country. Then you have Orania there. And then imagine if they continue occupying that territory all the way to the west, and then they consolidate there with Orania. We gotta think geopolitically, yo. It's not just, these people want a space to practice their culture, so they established Orania. Oh my gosh. You need to think geopolitically and strategically. Always think like you're in a chess game when you think about politics, because that is how it is. You guys with these sentimental things of rainbow, this and that, wasting our time here. Think strategically, Africans. Be sober, be very clear, and let's not let our emotions run away with us. Even when under attack,